Hi, I'm Steven. I'm the inventor, founder, and developer of Menuest, and I'm excited to speak with you today.
Menuest is a patented commercial content search engine and platform that allows users to find anything that's being sold, rented, leased, licensed, or assigned by anyone or any entity in the world. The user can filter by certain locations or distances they're from. And I'm going to show you examples that comprise restaurants as sources and other food and beverage providers as sources, but it's important to note that Menuest is not limited to those source types. So, for example, pretend a user is in San Francisco and they want something with beef in it. If they execute a search for the word beef, they will see results on the left-hand side of their screen, as you see here, and source indicators go to the right of respective contents. So these three restaurants have carne asada quesadilla listed on at least one menu of theirs, and it's important to note that the user has the ability to sort the source indicators based off of price, based off of distance from the user's current location, based alphabetically using source names, or based on user ratings such as thumbs up amount for the sources and the amount of thumbs up that images have. The user can filter by whether or not the source is currently open, and the user can, of course, turn that off. As you see here, there's some zoom functionality that I built. I think 85% is the best zoom. That's what I have the default set at. The user can also filter the page for any text that you see here, whether it's the address, source name, phone number, description, or any part thereof. The category like quesadilla, the content name. And so, for example, if the user does it based off of the content name, then because there's a match to the content name, then all the sources are displayed. But for example, maybe the user wants something on Clement Street, and now you see it's limited to sources that have Clement in the source indicator. And as discussed before, a user can click a description to expand it if it's truncated, and the user can click it again to collapse it. One cool feature is if the user clicks a content name, you can see it when you hover over it, it turns purple. And if you click it, then Menuest AI will tell the user about that particular content as well as a little bit about Menuest. Currently, I'm using 4.0 for this particular response, and in other parts of the website, I use a different model than 4.0. You could see here at the bottom, Menuest AI is telling the user a little bit about Menuest and how to use it and the things that the user can do. And Menuest AI is telling the user about beef udon. Menuest AI also will give the user a query. Here, Menuest AI is suggesting to the user to search udon, and they can execute a search for that. Another important thing to note is the advanced functionality. So this allows a user to control what is used to identify content, whether it be a category match, description match, content name match, unlisted category match, or an entire and exact source name match. So by default, I have all this turned on. So for example, if the user wants a salad, the user can execute a search for salad, and you can see Caesar salad is the top ranked content with all these sources here. Again, you could order it by price or however you like. And you can see even when there's a range, I have the website set up that it will use the lowest price of the range when ordering the source indicators based off of price. So as you'll see, there's 6 pages of results when I have all the advanced matching types turned on. But if I turn off everything and just leave content name only and then execute the search for salad again, you'll see that there's less pages of results. It's 3 pages. If I go to the last page, you'll see that salad is in each of the content names And if I turn on all the other matching types and execute the search again, you'll see 6 pages of results. And if I go to the last page, you see that salad is not in each of the content names as it previously was, because now contents are being identified for any of the matching types. So for example, if salad is in the description, then the content will be identified. One interesting thing to note is if a content is only identified because of a description match, then the other source indicators will not be displayed for that particular content. So here, this content was identified because of this description match, but only this source indicator is displayed and only the reference from this particular source is used, because when a content is only identified because of a description match, only source indicators that have a description match are displayed and used. So for example, if I just type in curry, now you'll see the other source indicators are displayed because this content was identified for multiple reasons. For example, curry has a match to the content name. There's a match to a category. And one thing I would like to note is, for example, maybe the user wants something with chicken in it. And so we're still got it sorted by price here. And so if a source indicator has multiple images for a particular content, if there's multiple images for a source for a particular content, then the 3 vertical dots you see here, the 3 blue vertical dots, will be displayed, and clicking those brings up a multiple image gallery pop-up that the user can see the multiple images. And clicking the images, the user can expand them, the user can give a thumbs up, the user can remove a thumbs up. After the user gives a thumbs up, it will be blue. The thumbs up will be blue. And similarly, is if there's multiple images from multiple sources, then 3 blue vertical dots will be displayed for the content. So all the data on this website is 100% real. All the images are 100% real, other than what you see here for Restaurant X, which I have added to show you some examples of certain things. So everything else is real. These are all images I took of food I purchased, and all the data and everything is 100% real other than for Restaurant X. So for example, if I wanted to add an image for Jake's Steaks chicken tenders, I could add that, and my website's set up to remove certain metadata to protect users. And the website's going a little bit slow because I'm using my phone as a hotspot for the internet right now, so it's taking a second longer than normal. And so if I go back, now that I've added that image, and now you'll see the image is displayed for Jake's Steaks, and the 3 blue vertical dots is now displayed for the content. Clicking that, you could see all of the images from the respective sources. You can click them to expand them. So the pop-up here is going to have images ordered based off of the amount of thumbs up they have. And this source indicator would normally display the most thumbs up image, but here this image with 1 thumbs up is being displayed instead of this image with 2 thumbs up, because the owner of the business has given a like to that particular image and not the other images. So here's an admin dashboard that the verified owner of the particular source would have access to after they verify themselves for the particular source. And if that source gives a thumbs up to an image for one of their contents, that image will get preference versus other images. So here the source is given a thumbs up to this image, but if I remove that thumbs up, and then go back to the other page you saw. So here you see just the image with 1 thumbs up is the initially displayed image, but if I reload it, it's going to be the image with 2 thumbs up because the source has removed their thumbs up for the lower ranked image. So long story short, the source has the ability to control what image is initially displayed in a source indicator, as well as what image is initially displayed for a menu item card on their menu page. So if I reload this now, this image will no longer be displayed, and now it's displaying the image with the most amount of thumbs up. And the user can give a thumbs up to the restaurant. You could click the hours of operation to see all the days of the week. Click the address, of course, to pull up Google Maps, go to the address. You could click the source's name to go to the source's website. I didn't set that up yet because it's just fake data, but I'll show you a real example in a second. Another important thing to note is if a source has multiple contents or multiple versions of a content on their menu, for example, Restaurant X has chicken tenders on the menu multiple times, in that case, this alternative source indicator icon will be displayed here at the bottom right of the source indicator, and clicking it allows the user to see the different version of the particular content from the particular source. So Restaurant X has chicken tenders on their menu under the category kids menu, and it's the description of 3 tenders for $6. And Restaurant X also has chicken tenders on their menu under a category of entrees with the description of 6 tenders for $12. And clicking the icon allows the user to cycle through the different versions. There could be more than 2. It could be any amount. If you hover over it, as you can see here, it tells you the amount as well as the currently displayed category name. And another important thing to note is the user can go to their profile page, and on the user's profile page, there's 3 sections: the sources the user's given a thumbs up to, the images they've given a thumbs up to, and their uploaded images. The user can click the respective links to go to the respective sections of their profile page. And here you can see all the images I've uploaded for various restaurants. As always, you could click the hours of operation and see the respective hours of operation. You could click the source's name to go to the source's menu page. And again, if you click the source's name while on the menu page, it will bring you to their particular website. Here are the menu categories. You could scroll through them and click a certain one to go to that particular category. Of course, you could add an image by clicking the blue plus sign icon, and you could see the other images by clicking the 3 blue vertical dots. If you click the content name, you could execute a search for the clicked content name. You could filter the page, so maybe you only want something with chicken, and now the categories listed get filtered as well as the cards that are displayed get filtered. So now only cards that have chicken are displayed. All the other ones are removed. One important thing to note is the admin dashboard. So here, this is for me as like the true admin of the website. I have some additional things that a normal admin will not see. For example, this data button here, this add new source button here, and this input field where I could pull up a certain restaurant, for example. This will only be displayed to an admin if they are an admin for multiple businesses. So for example, I only have this user I've added as an admin for this restaurant here, and there's no input field displayed because they're only an admin for one source. But if they were admin for multiple sources, then the input field would be displayed. As you could see, they could see the amount of page views that their menu gets, all time, in the past year, past month, past week, past day. So this is an additional incentive for sources or businesses to sign up for Menuest. because they'll be able to essentially create a free website, add their menu, edit their menu, see their page views. They can control what image is initially displayed on their menu page or on their source indicators for search results. As you can see, they could edit any of the contents. And I'm going to show you more about this in a second. But before I forget, so if the user clicks the help button here, this is how a business or source can get added to Menuest. So if the business is not already on Menuest and they are on Google Maps, they would type in their phone number here, and then assuming they're a logged in user, they type in their phone number, click this button. Now their phone number that's listed on Google Maps for their business is going to get called and provide them a code. They then put this code in this box, click this button, and then their business will be automatically added to Menuest, and their address, their business name, and their phone number will automatically get populated to my database, and they will automatically be an admin and have access to their admin dashboard, as you see here by clicking the settings icon. The admin dashboard link will be displayed here. One other thing I wanted to know before I forget is there's the history page. The user can delete a certain item or delete all the items that are displayed. For example, I'll just go ahead and delete them all. And now all the items will be deleted. Oh, actually, I already did it once today. I didn't even see the error message. So yeah, I have this rate limited, so the user can only do it once a day. But for example, on this profile, I haven't done it, I don't believe, today. So let me show you. And before I forget, actually, you could filter your history, time, or, maybe you just want to see your profile views only or your menu views only. And so this type of thing is going to be used to advertise to users. So for example, if they go to a menu page, we could allow a source to pay to maybe a subscription or a fee to then send that user that went to their menu page a discount code or promo, for example. That's one option, one revenue stream for Menuest. Other revenue streams, which there are many, include ads, subscription, putting ads between contents, and or, for example, which source indicator is initially displayed closest to the content. This could be, like an ad source indicator or just an ad in general. So even though the user might have the source indicators based off of price, if one of these sources paid us, they could have their source indicator be the one closest to the content, for example. And of course we would write, some indicator that would indicate to the user that this one's here, not organically, but because it's an ad. But there are many ways to make money, but I'm going to try to keep this strictly to the functionality of Menuest right now. So as I said before, the user can delete their history. And now, because I'm not being rate limited, because I didn't already do this today, the history has been deleted from this profile. And so for another interesting search is maybe the user wants dessert, and the user can see desserts, can click an image to expand it. The user can click a source's name to go directly to the source's menu page. And on the menu page, they can see the hours of operation. Another important thing to note is Menuest AI is set up to help the user. So for example, if the user misspells something or there's not a result for what they searched, Menuest AI will be displayed and then explain to the user that there wasn't a matching search result, as well as give the user a search to execute. So as you see that Menuest AI, the system just had pizza inputted into the input field, and it's in purple because the AI typed it essentially. And so that's why it's in purple. Normally it would be in black when the user types in a search. And as you can see here, It's Menuest AI is telling the user, why they were redirected to Menuest AI and telling the user a little bit about Menuest, like clicking the 3 black vertical dots. They can order the source indicators based on price, distance, user rating, or alphabetically, and even filter for currently open sources. So in addition to that, on the admin dashboard, so this is an admin dashboard for an owner of a business that's verified themselves. And here, for example, if they click edit, they could set their hours of operation. They could add new menu items. They could edit previously added menu items. And here, the user can take a picture of their menu or any part thereof. So I have this test menu here. And now AI is going to scrape that menu for its data. So it's menu item names, its descriptions, categories, prices, and it's going to input all that data into my database automatically for the user. And it's very, very close to perfect. And what's really exciting about this functionality is that as the AI gets better, as new models come out, I don't have to do anything other than change the model name, and then my website, Menuest, will take advantage of those advances. And so right now it's pretty much perfect in regard to how it scrapes the data and puts the data in, as you can see here. So all this was just put in by the AI. And so the category, the price, the description, and I didn't have to waste time doing that. So that will help me add sources to the database, and it will make things more convenient for a verified owner or admin of a particular source, because they don't have to manually input that. They could just take a picture of their menu to expedite that process. One cool thing to note is, for example, these AI buttons. If the user can't think of a good category for that particular menu item name, they could click the AI button, and now AI will pick a category for them. So I typed in volcano roll, and the AI says a good category would be sushi. For the unlisted category, it says Japanese cuisine. So if I save that, and I execute a search for Japanese cuisine, although I did that extra space, or even better, I'll just use the AI. What it put. So this is an example of you could use the filter here, and now you see volcano roll came up when I typed in Japanese, because Japanese cuisine was added as a unlisted category for restaurant X for volcano roll. So typing in the word Japanese identified volcano roll because I added that unlisted category. The user can, of course, go to Menuest AI just by clicking Menuest AI to chat with it. And as discussed, the user can filter by certain locations. So, for example, if the user is going to New York, they can filter by New York. I only have one restaurant in New York. It's a pizza place. But as you can see, the filtering does work. And so, just to be clear, everything is completely production ready, completely scalable. I could get millions of users, millions of businesses tomorrow, and everything would work, other than the fact I can't afford to keep the servers on. So I just really need an investment for data acquisition, for marketing, legal, accounting, and other operating expenses, as well as payroll for myself at least. And I would love to speak with you about this. I think this is a very exciting opportunity, and I would love to tell you more about it. The intellectual property that I spoke of includes 7 granted utility patents and 3 pending utility patents, and I would love to tell you more about that. There is another website called By Subject that I've also made, and this is another very exciting opportunity. Your investment will get you into both of these opportunities. However, I'll leave a link in the description so you could see a video covering by subject and some of the opportunities there. For now, I just want to mention a couple more revenue streams for Menuest. For example, the user could be required to pay a fee or a monthly subscription to create or keep an account. And or if the user wants an ad-free experience or the like, they could pay an extra charge, or that could be the only charge, for example. Similarly, for a source that wants to add themselves to Menuest or wants to become an admin for a source that's already listed on Menuest, we can charge them a fee or subscription to do so. Also, we can serve certain ads based off of certain queries or certain query characteristics or search result characteristics or reference characteristics or source characteristics or user characteristics or the like. One exciting thing I wanted to note is that when there's multiple sources displayed for a respective ranked content, and they each have images, the 3 blue vertical dots, as previously mentioned, will be displayed. But here you can see an example where there's more than 2 different sources or more than 2 images from 2 different sources. So here we have 3 sources and the images for each of them. And you could click to see the different images for the different sources or enlarge the image by clicking it. And one important thing to note is, as I said previously, Menuest is not going to be limited to just food and beverage providers. It's going to be any source selling, leasing, licensing, assigning, renting, anything. So, for example, that could be vehicles, could be ranked contents. For example, cars. For example, maybe the user type Toyota as the search query, and maybe the top ranked content is a 2025 Toyota Corolla SE. And then you would see source indicators for sources that are selling, renting, or leasing the respective content. And for example, it could be a dealership or an individual. You could click the description and see the mileage of the respective vehicles and other details, maybe an accident report or information pertaining to the vehicle. Of course, you'll be able to click the images to enlarge the image and take a closer look at the vehicle. If there's more than one images, then the user can see the multi-image pop-up. If a particular source has more than one of the vehicle on their lot, for example, so if a dealership has more than one Toyota Corolla SE 2025 on their lot, then the alternative source indicator icon would be displayed and the user would be able to see the different offerings from the particular source. So I just think that's it's important to note that although I'm starting with food and beverage providers, that's just because I have very limited capital and I need to raise funding before we could go beyond food and beverage providers. And as noted, I'm mainly starting with San Francisco sources. So for example, you could compare images for a chicken sandwich. So here you see Proposition Chicken and Hard Knocks Cafe. They both have fried chicken sandwich on their menu, and you could see the different options from the different sources. And I just think this is going to be something the users are going to love. And you could see the prices, you could order the source indicators however you like. And I just think that's very valuable, and I'm really excited about it. And another thing I wanted to mention is on the history page, by clicking these links, you could execute the search or go to the menu page. So for example, here's the volcano curry menu list, history listing. If I click that, it's going to bring me to the menu page. And another thing I wanted to mention is that on the profile page, I showed you how you could click the links to go to the respective parts of your profile page, but the user could just scroll through their profile page as well. And then another important thing to note is just like the search result page, just like the menu page, the user can filter the cards that are displayed. So, for example, they want something on Clement Street, they could type in Clement. Maybe they want a bento box, they could type in bento or bento box. Maybe they want something with chicken. So this is different ways to, filter what's displayed on their profile page. They could delete the images. They could delete their entire account. And just to show you that everything is working, as noted, everything is working. Nothing I'm showing you is not working. Everything is, 100% up and running right now. Another thing I wanted to note is on a source's menu page, I previously noted that you could click the content name to execute a search for the content name, and you could also click the category name to execute a search for the clicked category name. Another thing I wanted to note a little bit about the location filtering. The user can set a default location. So every time they log in, then the website's going to use that location. And another important thing to note is, so if the user types in, for example, San Fran here, the website's going to use any source that has San Fran in their address. However, if the user leaves this blank, the user can use the slider here and control for sources that are within a certain amount of distance from the user's current location. And another option is the user can click this button and, for example, search for a different location. And as noted, we have one source in the database in New York right now. And for example, if I now switch that to San Francisco and search pizza, now you see the results are different because now we're using the latitude and longitude provided for San Francisco versus the New York latitude and longitude. Another thing I wanted to note is that on the admin dashboard, for example, if a new source was being added, the address is going to auto-populate and the latitude and longitude will get filled there automatically after you click the suggested address or location. One important thing to note is that when a user creates an account, the user must provide a phone number to Menuest, and a code will be sent to that phone number via text message, and the user must verify that code in order to create their account. So a phone number is limited to at most one account, and an account can only provide a single like to an image and a single like to a source. And also another thing I should note is that when a user logs in, they can log in using their phone number or email. And similarly, they could reset their password using a phone number or email. Another important thing to note is on the help page, I previously failed to mention that at the bottom here, you can see that if you're a source that's already listed on Menuest, you can become an admin for that source that's already listed on Menuest by entering the number at the end of your menu URL into this input field. And then when you click this button, it's going to call the phone number that Menuest has in its database already for the source. And it's going to provide a 6-digit code when the person answers the phone. And if that person puts the code here and clicks submit or clicks the button to become an admin for the source, they'll become an admin for the source. And so I've basically created a way for a business to add themselves to Menuest. And if they're already on Menuest, I created a way for them to become an admin for the source that's already on Menuest. If they're not on Google Maps and they're having issues getting their business added to Menuest, they could contact us here. And another cool thing to note is that if you click Ask Menuest AI, Menuest AI is going to tell you pretty much everything it knows about Menuest. And of course, you could ask follow-up questions. So, for example, maybe you're interested in becoming a source on Menuest. You could ask that, or how to become an admin, or how to use the search engine, or anything about Menuest. So here you can see it's telling the user about the search functionality, the source indicators, the filtering options, images and likes, accounts, admin features, source management, viewing source menus. So it pretty much knows everything. But for example, you could say, you want your business to be on Menuest, and I'm going to show you that Menuest AI will provide a helpful answer to the user. So here you could see it even knows what page on Menuest to go to. It tells you how to add a new source, to claim an existing source, to manage your business. So again, it's very exhaustive and or comprehensive, and I really tried to make Menuest AI know everything about Menuest. But I'll keep adding information as more features and functionality gets added to Menuest, of course. So again, I'm Steven. This is Menuest. I'm extremely excited to speak with you more about this. As you've seen, everything is currently working. It's done in a fast and efficient manner to save on compute cost and other operating expenses. And I'm just really excited to tell you more about this, and I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.